Youngstown, Ohio. The expectation was never that South Dakota State could or should go undefeated this season, top 5 ranking notwithstanding. So a 19-7 road loss to the 5th-ranked Youngstown State Penguins, by itself, is not devastating to the Jackrabbits' national title hopes. But they're 0-1 in Missouri Valley Football Conference play, and they still have 5 games remaining against teams that are ranked in the top 25, including what figure to be extremely challenging rivalry games against number 2 North Dakota State and number 10, and rising, South Dakota. That means finishing the season with the kind of record that earns a team a high playoff seat is going to require a spectacular finish to the season. And the team that got pushed around by the Penguins Saturday night in front of 17,450 Stambaugh Stadium fans was far from spectacular. Facebook, Twitter, Google+, LinkedIn. Photos: SDSU vs Youngstown State football. Full screen. South Dakota State quarterback Terrence Hristion 3 throws. South Dakota State quarterback Terrence Hristion 3 throws a pass during the first half of their game Saturday, September 30, 2017, at Stambaugh Stadium in Youngstown, Ohio. David Dermer the Vindicator. Full screen. South Dakota State quarterback Terrence Hristion 3 throws 1 of 12. South Dakota State quarterback Terrence Hristion 3 runs. South Dakota State Titan Dallas Goedert 86 catches. South Dakota State quarterback Terrence Hristion 3 runs. South Dakota State wide receiver Jake Wieneke 19 secures. Youngstown State tailback Tevin Mccaster 37 celebrates. South Dakota State linebacker Christian Rozeboom 2. Youngstown State quarterback Nathan Mays 7 runs the. Youngstown State tailback Tevin Mccaster 37 runs the. Youngstown State tailback Tevin Mccaster 37 runs through. Youngstown State quarterback Hunter Wells 6 throws. Youngstown State quarterback Nathan Mays 7 reaches. Next slide. 12 photos. SDSU vs Youngstown State football. The Jacks defense couldn't get off the field early, but came up with some big stops in the red zone to keep the score close. The offense moved the ball with ease on each of its first 2 drives, then went quiet. In other words, SDSU wasn't very good on either side of the football, which was certainly unexpected coming off a bye that the team calls improvement week. Coach John Stiegelmeier's message to his team after the game was that all their goals are still in front of them, and that is certainly true. But the coach also acknowledged that his team was dominated in their conference opener and that it wasn't something they could shrug off. Getting beat like that, Stiegelmeier said, regardless of if it's coming off a bye, on the road or at home, is very disappointing and a bit concerning. Not concerned about how good we are but how we respond to how we got beat tonight. That will be the real test as far as where this team might be able to go. Youngstown outgained SDSU 448-222. They ran 86 offensive plays to SDSU's 37. The time of possession favored the Penguins 45-14 to 14-46. For an offense as loaded as this one to score only 7 points is almost unbelievable, but they were hardly on the field. They were way more physical than we were, Stiegelmeier said. I saw an inability to respond to the physicalness of how they presented their game plan. SDSU took the ball first and appeared poised to take the lead, but Dallas Goedert fumbled at the ESU 5-yard line as he fought for extra yardage. Youngstown answered with a 16-play, 94-yard drive to take the lead, and while SDSU would quickly answer to tie it up at 7, the Penguins dominated from there. ESU, 3-1-1-0, controlled the line of scrimmage, eating up big chunks of yards and clock. keeping the Jacks offense off the field while wearing down their defense. 3 times the Penguins drove inside the Jacks' 10-yard line and came away with no points, turning it over on downs just before half, throwing an interception in the third quarter, and taking a knee in the final minute, or it could have been an even wider deficit. They had some good schemes, but it really came down to execution, said senior safety Nick Farina. We've got to get off blocks. We've got to make tackles. Hats off to them, they're a physical team that played a tough football game. They marched it on us right away, and we made some adjustments and executed better, but we just couldn't get off the field. After SDSU, 3-1, 0-1, held the Penguins to a field goal early in the fourth, they took the ball trailing 19-7 looking to start a comeback, but a Taryn Christian pass went off Brady Mangarelli and was intercepted at the ESU 20-yard line, effectively ending the Jacks' comeback hopes. Tevin McCaster ran for 183 yards on 35 carries for the Penguins, who lost starting quarterback Hunter Wells to injury on the first series, only to see backup Nathan Mays rush for 65 yards and a score, while completing 14 of 19 for 113 yards. For SDSU, Christian was 10 of 21 for 157 yards and a touchdown pass to Jake Wieneke. He had 4 catches for 61 yards and Goddard had 3 for 58. SDSU ran for 65 yards in the game, led by Christian's 28. We made too many mistakes and stopped ourselves, Christian said. They really like to bracket Jake and take him out of the picture on some plays. Dallas was open early, and then they helped on him later. We got Marquise Lewis open once on a deep ball when they doubled, and we just couldn't connect. Give them credit, they're a really good defense, but we didn't execute. The Jacks are home for their next 2 games, against Southern Illinois and Northern Iowa. And this loss was similar to the one against North Dakota State in last year's playoffs. Stiegelmeier downplayed a suggestion that his team's last 2 losses may provide a blueprint for beating his squad, but said it's clear the entire team needs to do some serious self-evaluation. We have to respond to this objectively, Stiegelmeier said. Respond honestly and respond real. Coaches and players. We have to identify any weaknesses scheme-wise that we can shore up. Then we have to get our head up and work on it. South Dakota Street 07007. Youngstown Street 7723, 19. First quarter. ESU Mays 4 run, Kennedy kick, 3:05. Second quarter. SDST Wieneke 10 pass from Christian, Vanadieri kick, 14:15. ESU McCaster 1 run, Kennedy kick, 10:02. Third quarter. ESU team safety, 4:32. Fourth quarter. ESU FG Kennedy 24, 10:21. SDST ESU. First downs 11:30. Rushes yards 16 to 65, 63 to 310. Passing 157-138. Combat in 10 to 21, 117 to 23-1. Return yards 33-43. Punts avg 3 to 44.02 to 45.0. Fumbles lost 1100. Penalty yards 1 to 15, 5 to 38. Time of possession 14:46, 45-14. Individual statistics. Rushing South Dakota Street, T. Christian 5 to 28, B. Mangarelli 4 to 19, M. Daniel 2 to 9, I. Wallace 4 to 8, C. Johnson 1-1. Youngstown Street, T. McCaster 35 to 183, and Mays 11 to 65, C. Turner 16 to 62, S. Kuhn 1-0. Passing South Dakota Street, T. Christian 10 to 21, 1 to 157. Youngstown Street, and Mays 14 to 19, 1 to 113, H. Wells 3 to 4025. Receiving South Dakota Street, J. Wieneke 4 to 61, D. Goddard 3 to 58, J. Brown 1 to 18, B. Mangarelli 1 to 15, M. Lewis 1 to 5. Youngstown Street, A. Bailey 6 to 43, D. Patterson 3 to 43, C. Turner 3-19, J. Broswell 1-17, K. Rader 2-10, T. McCaster 2-6.